Making it work for herself and her family. Hello, I'm Gwen Edwards, and welcome to another edition of Our Lives. My first guest is a single mother of 5, and she has an inspirational life story on making it work. Donna Hillard is an entrepreneur. She is the owner and founder of Donna's Little Doves Child Care Development Center in Bridgeport. She's also the owner of Maebell's Soul Food Kitchen in the Park City. Welcome to you.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Donna, you had to make it against some tough odds. Please share your story with us.
Yes, as a child, I grew up in Norwalk, and I came from a family that they're a great family, but you know, down the road some things happened. People were involved in drugs and alcohol, and you know, I kind of lost my way as a child.
But you know, to your credit, you need people there for you as a child.
Yes.
And your mother was drug addicted, your grandmother was a drug dealer, your dad was in prison.
Yes.
So as a child, you didn't have the support system.
No, I didn't. I actually stayed from home to home with families. I mean, I have multiple families that I call my family because that's where I grew up at in the projects. And at the age of, I'd say about 12 years old, my mother had her first prison. She went to prison. And so was kind of lost. That's how I started out staying with a friend. And then she got out, and then again, she went when I was 17.
So you've been basically on your own since 17.
Yes. And so at the age of 17, I had to take on the responsibility of my two sisters, and I also had 2 children of my own at the time. And while she was in prison, that's what I was doing.
Talk about your Damascus Road experience.
So from there to where I'm at now, I went from being in the projects to myself being determined as a young mother, a young teenager, that I was not going to stay where I was. So I enrolled back in school, and I worked about 2-3 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs. And during that time, I decided that I wanted to move myself out of the projects, out of Section 8. And so I was determined to buy my first home. So from there, I bought my first home in Bridgeport, and my goal was to open a daycare center.
And talk about your businesses.
Okay, I started out as a family child care owner, and that's where I thought I was going to stay at. I never knew that God had another plan for me. So he moved me from being out of my home as a home provider to owning a facility that holds 83 children. So I went from 9 to 83 children.
9 in your home to a facility that now houses and takes care of 83.
83 children. And so I'm in business since 2007. And so my mom and I didn't really have a good relationship, but I love my family. She got herself clean, and she moved back with me. And her passion is cooking. So I said, I'm going to open you a soul food restaurant.
Wow.
So this year, that was my goal. And going from not having much, struggling, not knowing what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to wear, didn't even know if I was going to graduate high school, but I did all that with the grace of God. And from there, this is where I'm at.
Alrighty. And very quickly, what advice do you have for others who just don't think they can break the cycle of poverty?
My advice to others who think is just to be strong, keep the faith, and just trust that if you are motivated and you have a goal and a plan, that you can work it out and you can do it, and all things can happen. And that's just what I believe. I believe that success comes